Greetings, my Legionnaires, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm your host, and joining us this week is my very good friend, Mr. Levi Fletcher. Levi, how's it going, pal?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Joe is busy dealing with house stuff, like literally moving into a house, and I wanted to make sure he had the week to kind of chill and do his stuff, so he'll probably show back up again soon. But for the interim, we have you, Levi, which I'm really excited about because we're going to talk about a lot of games and stuff here, which is really good. And for anyone who might be joining us for the first time, we here on the Critical Podcast talk about games, movies, TV shows, everything we love, even cookbooks occasionally, and music once in a while. But first, let's get into some news. Now, Levi, we got some casting we got to talk about for Lion King. So, Levi, are you excited about a live-action Lion King film in the first place? That's what I got to know.
Not really, I'm going to be honest. I didn't think the world needed one, but...
Did you see Jungle Book?
I did. And, I mean, that was very well done, but you had one human cast member, so...
That's true, but did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think we saw that in theaters, and I think we both were pretty blown away by the cinematography, weren't we? It was
Did I see that with you in theaters?
We did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we might have been. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I thought, it was more of like just the actual effects of the animals themselves that I thought was really impressive. And I thought they were kind of cutting their teeth with this one because they're like, hey, if we screw up Jungle Book, then like, who cares? But they can't screw up Lion King because they're like, Lion King's
yeah, I mean, I feel like they're going to piss a lot of people off with this, but...
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, we have casting news here, and I want to just briefly go over the cast. We don't have to go in depth about it. First off, Simba is played by Donald Glover. People know him mostly from Community. He was also in Spider-Man: Homecoming as basically Miles Morales' uncle, who's in there.
He's also a famous rapper, so
yeah, that's very true too. And he also has he had a show. I forget what the name of that show was that people really enjoyed. It's one where he lived in Georgia or whatnot.
Yep.
But anyway, Donald Glover, Simba. Do you like that? I think it's a pretty decent call. I'm not like, Matthew Brown.
I like the casting, but we'll see. I haven't been too impressed with Disney live action films in the last couple of years, so.
Okay, fair enough. How about Beyonce as Nala?
I don't really care. I mean, great. That's good. Everybody loves Bee, but we'll see how she does.
I wonder if they'll make her sing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" Like she'll sing it herself.
Ooh.
Like
in that Halo pitch, like.
Now here's the most controversial casting call. James Earl Jones as Mufasa. I mean, I'm not sure this guy's got the range for it. I don't know if he's really good enough for this role. I'm completely joking. Obviously, he played Mufasa back in the old cartoon or the old animated movie. And I think getting him back is just like a no-brainer. Like, if he's alive and kicking right now, why wouldn't you? Like, do you agree?
James Earl Jones. That is funny. Yeah. Should be good. I mean, he was also in Rogue One.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, bring it on.
I love that.
I Google a question: is James Earl Jones dead or alive?
Exactly. I think the thing I like about this is kind of like with Mark Hamill. Like it's been like a long time, and they were still doing stuff. But then, like as these movies have resurged, these franchises have come back. It's kind of like you just hear the phone ring, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play this role you played like 20 years ago or whatever?" It's like, sure, like
sure.
So I'm happy. I like James Earl Jones. He's just he's a good voice actor. So Chiwetel Ejiofor, I feel like I'll never say that name correctly. Playing, he's the bad guy from Doctor Strange. Well, one of the bad guys. He was Mordo. He was his ally, but then he kind of turned bad at the end.
Okay.
That guy. Yeah. So that guy is going to be Scar. So I think that's pretty good. We've already kind of seen him play somewhat of a villain. He's been in some other stuff too. I think he's a pretty good actor. So I think that's not so bad a casting. What do you think?
No, I think it would be fine. Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last few I just want to briefly mention, Alfre Woodard playing Sarabi. People would know her from either Captain America Civil War. She's the lady who kind of approaches Tony Stark in the beginning. He's like, you killed my son. Or she was also the villain in Luke Cage, I believe. One of the villains. And then we have John Oliver as Zazu. I think that's pretty good casting voice-wise. John Kani, I think he was Black Panther's father in Civil War. But he's playing Rafiki, which I don't think is bad.
Okay. No.
Seth Rogen as Pumbaa. We'll see.
Seth Rogen as Pumbaa?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll see. It'll just be like, kind of that.
Super bad. McLovin, hey, what are you doing here in the jungle?
And then Billy Eichner as Timon, and you might know him as like the annoying voice guy from like New Girl, or he was also in Parks and Rec for a while. He's like a tall, kind of
Okay,
type
sure.
thing. Yeah, those are all the ones. I mean, there's some casting for some other characters here, like the rest of the hyenas, but the only one I know is Keegan Michael K or Key from Key and Peele or whatnot. He'll be
Oh
playing.
yeah,
I think he's playing one
all
of the
that.
hyenas. I think he's playing
It's
one of the
not
hyenas.
Campbell. It's all that.
Sure, right. I have no idea, but anyway, pretty solid cast. I'm excited to just see. I just want to see a trailer. I just want to see how this looks because it's going to be all animals. No, not one little human boy running through there. Just all animals. But I don't know. Where does Lion King fall for you, man? As far as Disney animated films, do you love it? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
It's a classic. There's no denying that. It's aged pretty well too. I mean, yeah, it's decent. I don't think I'd ever like turn on Plex and watch it, but yeah.
Yeah. I remember going to see that with, I think you were there, but we went to see that with a buddy of ours when they re-released it back in theaters
We
like a
did,
few years ago.
yep.
I remember thinking, like, sitting in the theater, thinking, why did I pay to see this?
Yeah, I think
like,
I fell asleep.
Yeah, it's like, it's fine. We all know the story. Anyway, yeah. I want to know what you guys think about this this casting. Most of it sounds pretty good. I'm not too up in arms about anything, but it was interesting. I'm like, we should touch on it. Other news, though. Speaking of casting, thinking of casts and people and segues that are flawless, Henry Cavill spoke out a little bit about the DCEU, even though it's not technically called that, I guess. But I wanted to read this off because I thought it was very fascinating. So part of this profile they did on him on Poetic Justice via Heroic Hollywood, he said, even if Marvel didn't exist, we'd struggle. There was a style that DC were going for, an attempt to be different and look at things from a slightly different perspective, which hasn't necessarily worked. Yes, it has made money, but has not been a critical success. It hasn't given everyone that sensation which superheroes should give the viewer. Yeah, kind of interesting. And then he kind of went on. He talked very highly about Wonder Woman here. And I'll just read this off quick. But he said, "I think it's a wonderful time for the female superhero or female hero. It is the perfect setting in social politics right now. We need it. We want that perspective. And Wonder Woman has struck at that ideal time and has become a phenomenal success, which is fantastic. Any success within the superhero universe, especially within the DC universe, is wonderful because I want to keep telling the Superman story selfishly. That works for me. I feel like now the right mistakes have been made and they haven't been pandered to, and we can start telling the stories in the way they need to be told. It is even better to come back from a mistake or stylistic error into the correct vein because it will make it seem that much stronger. Wonder Woman was the first step in the right direction."
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
And it's nice to hear him say that because, him playing Superman is obviously a big deal, but him not being able to fully be, I think, Superman, like the hope and justice and kind of more happy version, because mostly he's been so morose and sad and not really this symbol that everybody wants him to be. But hearing him talk like that just makes me feel a little bit better, because sometimes I worry that if you're part of these things, you're kind of just like, yep, this is what everyone's decided and we're just going with it. But him saying that there's been stylistic errors makes me have a little more hope for DC, because I'm like, they're screwing up. But how do you feel about this, man?
I think a lot of these actors, it's really nice to see that they genuinely care about these comic, book characters. They care about the legacy of these characters, and they want to do them justice. I think that's great. It's really nice to see Ben Affleck speaking out. It's nice to see these characters actually talking about their roles and their views on it. And because you hear a lot of these actors and actresses who play these roles, and then you don't know if they care or not.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm still we've had Ben say a few things here and there, especially like the Comic-Con, saying kind of more praising the film and praising the fact that he gets to be Batman. I'm still not sure where he lies, if he's still going to show up for the rest of it. But hearing Henry Cavill talk about, especially as Superman, or playing Superman, it's kind of like, okay, good. That means that hopefully people at DC are listening and the actors are finally saying like, hey, yeah, we agree with you. And hopefully that can bleed into the direction of these films going forward. Because like you said, they've been successful, but they haven't been critically successful. And people are kind of complaining and comparing them to Marvel all the time. And DC was kind of like, we'll do something so different and dark and gritty and grounded. But it's like, that's not what superhero movies are, man. Like, a few of your heroes can do that, but, come on now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited. That just makes me a little more hopeful. Have you seen some of the new trailers for Justice League at all?
Only the one that we talked about the other night. Just with Aquaman being so bro-y, and I mean, it looks bloated. Like, you can just tell it's gonna be God, and I hope that's just trailer, but it looks bloated.
Well,
you can tell when a film is trying to smash everything into one category, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, apparently the runtime just came out, and they said it's only going to be 119 minutes, so 1 minute shy of 2 hours. And I think like
Hmm.
almost all the other ones have been like that or longer. So hopefully that means it'll just move along pretty quickly. Because I'm with you too. I was like, oh man, there's going to be a lot in this movie. But you'd think out of all of the movies to be the longest, you'd want Justice League to be the biggest. You know, like a
Yeah.
2.5 hour film. So I don't know what's going to happen with this one.
Hoping creatively they found a way to just skip the extra stuff that we don't need and just jump right into it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we
hope
don't
so.
need a big story of like how everybody came together like Avengers. We don't really need that.
Sure. Well, I think it would have been simpler to do that if they would have given Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg standalones beforehand. Maybe at least Aquaman and Flash. Cyborg, maybe not as much. You can kind of bring him into the fold with this one. But I think kind of not doing that the same way that the Avengers did it, where they kind of had their thing and they came together. I don't know. It just seems. We'll see if it still feels bloated or not. This might be a heck of a long movie, feeling that way too. So who knows? But hopefully that means they'll go right to the action. They'll cut and they'll always be together because usually these ensemble movies only take so long because they're like, all right, Hawkeye and Scarlet or Black Widow, I was calling Scarlett Johansson, are off talking, and like you got Iron Man and Captain America talking, but they're not all together. It's like they have to go to each different scene. So hopefully that just means the group will be together and cohesive more of the time. So here's hoping for that. But something that excites me even more than any of that, Joe Manganiello, my boy. He was supposed to play Deathstroke in the standalone Batman film. There have been rumors that movie is not going to happen, or they're changing it up completely. You know, there's like, is it on, is it off? They got the guy from the director for Planet of the Apes. I think it was like Rise or War of the Planet of the Apes, and they got him on there. They're not still sure if Deathstroke was going to be the villain, or if he was just going to be a smaller villain, or if he's going to be gone altogether. Well, I'm happy to report that I believe that they are making a standalone Deathstroke film with the director from The Raid, Gareth Evans. And I haven't watched The Raid. Levi, I know you haven't watched The Raid or The Raid 2, but apparently those movies are kind of more focused around just the fight choreography and the scenes like that. So that makes me really excited because like if we get to watch like a true Deathstroke film where he is working and he's fighting and he's doing everything that he can, I will be so excited. And if it's rated R, I mean, it's rated R. You know what I mean? Like you could do that dark and gritty if you wanted to do that one. But are you excited at all for a Deathstroke standalone?
Yeah, I think it would be a ton of fun. Absolutely. We need a good villain film. So.
Well, yeah, and he's kind of played the anti-hero in more so in these years. So I think it might be more like he's a bounty hunter. So he kind of is a bad guy, but he's not like, I don't know. Obviously, I'm trying to temper my expectations because I am obviously a Deathstroke fan, as you can see over here. I love this character so much, and I'm like, the world needs to know about him. It makes me so angry that everybody knows about Deadpool and nobody knows about Deathstroke. It's like, it kills me. It really does. But I'm really excited. I really just want to see just the costume, just a shot of the costume or anything from this film, because we had a CG tease of it a while ago or something where it's like a guy in a Deathstroke costume, and I was like, oh my god, and I was like, that's a perfect villain for Batman, a perfect foil. But yeah, I'm just hoping that it still goes down because I think he's a pretty talented actor from what I've seen in the past, and I just want to see his character. Please. Okay, I hope it happens. Either way, there you go. There's your news for this week. But now we get into the meat of the show. We're talking about two things in particular. We had a lot of things happen over the last couple of days. We had Stranger Things Season 2 come out, Wolfenstein, the new Colossus come out, but also Assassin's Creed Origins and Super Mario Odyssey. Levi.
Lots of fun.
Tell me, we need to talk about these two games because we haven't played Wolfenstein, but we need to talk about Super Mario Odyssey to start off with. You've been playing it, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Tell me about it now, please. I need to know.
The build up and the hype is worth it. Absolutely. Okay. Smart to put a flagship game out right before the holidays for them and to actually really promote the Switch and what it's capable of. Smart. Good job, Nintendo. The game is fun. It is quirky. It is different for a Mario game. It's a lot of fun to play. Honestly, you pick it up and you're having fun already.
So how many hours have you put into the game so far?
About 10 hours right now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell me about the controls. How does it feel?
It feels good. I've seen a couple critical things about the controls, but honestly, people were complaining about it handheld mode, how it felt a little odd, but I think it feels just fine. I played it with the Pro Controller. I played it handheld mode with the Joy-Con, all three, and it's been pretty solid.
Which do you prefer for this one in particular? Do you prefer
Pro. Mm-hmm.
Pro
I
controller?
like
Okay.
the Pro. Yep. I mean, I like handheld if I'm on the go, but
Yeah.
on the go
definitely.
meaning like from downstairs to my bedroom. So
Sure.
like that's pretty much where as much as it gets use out of. But
Okay, so now tell me the biggest thing, the hook for this game is this new power of possession.
Cappy.
Cappy. So taking your hat off, throwing it on things, and taking control of them. What is the coolest thing you've taken control of so far?
I don't know even know if it's the Frog or Bullet Bill. I would say Bullet Bill is the best because I feel like he's the most annoying enemy in the series
Sure.
to kill you out of the original. He's a lot of fun. Yep.
Okay, so which worlds, and this is kind of spoilers for anybody who's playing the game, but I'm sure people who picked it up gotten to where you are right now. Like, what world or worlds have you witnessed thus far?
There's a lot of fun worlds they've got going on now. I don't want to spoil too much either, but there's a lot of really fun worlds out there, Jimmy. I don't want to spoil too much.
I know. Okay, tell me about the first world. Can you tell me the first world?
Oh, you start off in a very spooky place, actually. Cappy's actually. Oh well, I don't know if I should give it away, but
It's fine. The spoilers. We'll turn the spoiler switch. I'll just put it on and just.
Cappy is your generic Casper-friendly ghost, and
Okay.
he helps you try to get his girlfriend back, or cousin, sister. I don't remember. He's also captured by Bowser, so Cappy and Mario team up to get their loved ones back.
Okay, so Bowser's come in and.
And just to clarify, it was very weird in the cutscene to see Bowser saying he wants to marry Peach. I did feel a little uncomfortable about that, but
Is
I
it
was
is
like,
it subtitles? Is it? It's not Bowser.
yeah, it was subtitles, and Bowser's just like subtitles.
I thought you were saying
It's totally Legend of Zelda-esque, like kind of a fake voice, But
okay, gotcha.
yeah.
I was just thinking, like, yeah, that would be weird for Bowser. They just show him, he's like, I want to marry Peach.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, okay, all right. Yeah, okay, so he's stolen Peach and Cappy's girlfriend or
Yep.
sister or cousin or something.
Yeah.
How did he steal? Does he have a hat that has powers as well?
No, I don't think so. No, he stole them right at the beginning. He took Peach and he took Cappy's friend. It's because she's in a tiara.
Okay.
And then
okay.
Cappy takes the form of Mario's hat.
Okay, so she's on Peach's head.
Yep.
Okay. So is Peach saying anything about this? She's like, no, Bowser, please don't. I don't want to marry you.
Pretty
like,
much.
It seems like such an archaic, like, plot thread, especially nowadays, where it's just like bad guy like legit steals a woman. It's like, we will be married. Like, that seems like such a weird thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bowser, I don't. Yeah, that's strange. Okay, so that's mainly the story.
because you see all these posters everywhere, all these worlds of Bowser and Peach's wedding, and
he's been playing this for a while. I was like, put the posters up tonight. Okay, interesting. So basically, now Mario's on a quest to save her, and he's going from world to world. What is he doing in these worlds to get himself closer to saving Peach?
So he is going around and he is going through and he's getting these items to get him to the next level, to get him on his way to get Peach back.
Okay, so you're getting other items in the game besides Cappy to use.
Yep, there's a lot of custom. What am I trying to say?
Customization.
Customization. A lot of customization. Yep. Very different for the Mario games.
Okay, like what are you customizing exactly?
You can customize your outfits, your coins. It's a lot of different items and stuff that you can customize. It's really cool.
You can customize the coins.
Hats. Yep, lots of different hats. Lots of different stuff that you can do.
So different outfits give you different abilities or things like that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, how about you say customizing coins?
Like we got a Wario cap. Oh, I'm sorry, not the customizing coins, but mostly customizing. Yep.
Gotcha. I was like
cowboy hats. I mean, there's just a lot of different stuff. Golf hat cap and lots of different hats, lots of different outfits.
Okay, cool. So what kind of bonuses does like the cowboy hat outfit, and does that give you any bonuses, or do you just look like good in that world when you're in like the West world?
Yeah, it just makes it more fits into that level. So
okay, yeah, but you said there are some potential benefits to some of these outfits in certain worlds potentially.
Mm-hmm. Well, and for example, the cowboy hat in particular, it's a homage to Mario Party 2. So there's a lot of different throwbacks with these different items. So.
Okay, gotcha. That's interesting. Yeah, because I saw one where he was wearing like I think Cappy turned into like historical or something like that, and he can go swimming or something, which I thought was kind of interesting. So you've taken possession of a few things. Is there anything that you have not been able to take possession of?
I mean, there's just different things on the levels that you're not supposed to, you can't obviously take possession of, but there's a lot of different things that you do in order to get to a set of coins that you normally couldn't, tag onto. And
Sure. Interesting. Well, yeah, it sounds fun. Obviously, the platforming is still there. That's still a huge part of the game. I mean, that is mostly the game, besides taking possession of these creatures and other enemies, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Bosses
So there's
are pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
I won't spoil any of those, but they've done a good job with the boss design and.
Okay. And can you not take control of the bosses? Because that's probably the first thing I'd try to do. I'd be like, don't get it.
I don't think so. At least not yet. Not that I know of.
I have a few more questions about possession. So possession, if you take control of somebody, does Mario's body just stand somewhere, or does he like transfer into them?
Yep, you take on the eyes of that character. So if you take possession of a frog, Mario goes through this cool little cutscene of transforming into the frog's eyes. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So can you indefinitely possess a creature?
For a bit, yeah, but not for the entire duration. No.
Okay, gotcha. So you can do it. You can't just like turn to Bullet Bill and just be Bullet Bill forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have like a little meter?
There's
or something?
a reason that you take possession of certain things for different superpowers and.
Gotcha. Yeah. So do you only have like certain? Is there like a little meter that says like, hey, you have like this much possession time, and then it's like start like going down as you like possess something, or does it just say like it just pops after like 15 seconds?
It just pops after a certain amount, whatever you've completed that task. So.
Gotcha. So I'm guessing that some of the characters you take possession of, you have to do for certain platforming elements of the game. They're like, hey, you gotta like get one of these, the red shell like Koopas, and you have to get one of them to progress to this next point, or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And different enemies are found in different levels and.
Sure. Have you been to in 10 hours? How many worlds can you say you've been to?
Couple. Yeah.
Okay. Have you been to New Donk City?
I have not been to New Donk City yet, no.
Okay. I was going to say, cause for some of the screenshots I've seen of that and some other characters in the game, it seems like there's some weird, like, animation choices or artistic choices.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, anything that you see from the trailer, yeah, but...
like, some of it doesn't seem to jive with the rest of the game.
Yeah, like the humans, the way they, like, get possessed, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't seem strange. Or there's like a dog, you have like a pet dog or something, and I was like, oh, that dog doesn't look anything like a Mario character or something. And I just don't know why. Maybe there's a reason in the game why they look a certain way as opposed to looking like a cartoon animated, video game model. Is there anything like that, or is it just like, yep, some things look different?
Yeah, some things look different. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool, man. So 10 hours in. Do you crave this game? Like when you're like not playing, is something you're like, I really want to play some more Mario.
Yeah, I mean it's a fun game to definitely pick up. I don't know, crave is the right word.
Okay.
Because it's not like you're working towards that many, upgradables. It's not like Shadow of War where you're like, oh, I'm trying to upgrade this, and this to get me stronger, that kind of thing. It's a fun game just to pick up and play.
Yeah, are there any skill trees in this game or anything?
Not that I've seen.
Okay, I was gonna say I wouldn't think they'd be like, if you want, you can.
They didn't go that far. No.
Yeah. Mario's jump can be 20% longer now if you do that, and you're like,
No, they didn't go that far.
Yeah, but coins, the currency in the game, I think there's still like that in buying lives or buying some items maybe here and there. There's kind of like shopping you can do in the game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What are you buying in this game?
Different hats, different outfits, and.
Okay, and those are for different perks and things like that for Cappy. Yep. And okay, interesting. So right now, if you had to score it, the first 10 hours, 0 to 10, 0 being complete garbage, 10 being the perfect game, where do you put it?
8.5 out of 10.
Okay, nice. I was gonna say I've seen some pretty high scores, but a lot of it I think is for people who really wanted a worthy successor to Super Mario 64. Do you think this? Besides, like Super Mario Sunshine, I know people love that. Like this seems like the closest they've gotten to in a long time, since maybe even Galaxy. Would you say this is a worthy successor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I just played through that. Huh?
It's a good game to showcase on the Switch, and yeah.
Yeah, I played through Super Mario 64 like 2 years ago, and just for fun, just to see how it held up. That game holds up pretty well, but seeing this one, I get a lot of those vibes again. A lot
classic.
More. Yeah, for sure. Even though back in the day, Super Smash Bros. Was the one I wanted. Anyway, that's story for another time. I've told it before. With Super Mario Odyssey, 8.5 out of 10. That's pretty good. Would you say this is a necessity for Switch owners, or
yes?
For people who are, how about people on the fence? People are like, I'm not a huge Mario fan. Should I get this game?
Pick it up for some fun. I mean, even
Okay.
if you're not a Mario fan, it's for everybody. Anybody
Okay.
can have fun with this game.
And you're only 10 hours in. Does it kind of tell you any progress? Do you feel like you're a certain amount through the game? Do you feel like there's a lot left for you, or?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a insane amount of levels. So
So you're not sure how far you are into the game as far as like if you're playing through the whole campaign, how much time?
yeah, I don't think they really give you a progress bar. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if you felt like you're like, man, I've seen like 8 worlds in 10 hours. So
yeah, no.
you know, okay, cool. So there's probably enough there, justify, because I always like to think of it too as like, kind of, if you aren't really into Mario and you won't really love just playing as him, is it worth your money, and time to put into this? But it sounds like you're saying that it's worth it, even if you're not the biggest Mario fan. But it's been a pretty crazy year for the Switch. They've launched a ton of stuff, and to have both a Zelda and a Mario come out in the same year and both do very well, I think critically, that's a big deal for the launch of a new system, which they haven't really done in a long time. So, I mean, kudos to Nintendo. They know what they're doing, it seems like, finally, because for a while we're all like, what are you doing, Nintendo? You're so stupid. But now they're finally like, hey, let's crank out some good first party IPs, all they need to do now to get me, it's only one word, man. It's Pokemon. You put a good Pokemon RPG out there, oh buddy boy, man, they better show something at E3. I swear to God. Okay, so 8.5. Huh?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. They better. Oh my God, they'll probably won't be anything like what I want, but that's okay. You know what? That's fine. It's fine. I'll always have the old games. So cool. Thank you, man. Is there anything else you want to say about Super Mario Odyssey before we move on to Assassin's Creed Origins?
No, pick it up. Pick it up.
Pick it up. Sweet. Well, one of these days, maybe I'll get to play it. Maybe do a little stream of it. That'd be fun. One of these days I'll get a Switch. One of these days. Oh well. Anyway, Levi, let's talk about AC Origins. AC Origins, as I like to call it. So I did a little review in progress that you guys can watch right over here. But I wanted to talk about this game a little more in depth. And Levi, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me at any time. Or if you be like, hey man, I want to know about this, please do. But Assassin's Creed Origins is interesting. They took a year off to kind of make a better game because people were kind of like, it's like kind of Call of Duty-ish, where it's just like, there are multiple teams working on these games, so it wasn't always the same group making the game, but it never felt like a leaps and bounds bigger and better. I mean, when you moved from Assassin's Creed 3 to Black Flag, it did feel that way because there was just a completely different game where it's like mostly on a boat, and you're like, oh yeah, I still can get off the boat and go and kill people, which was really cool. But this game is huge. It's massive, and taking it back to Egypt, I think was a smart idea. I enjoyed Syndicate a lot, but that takes place in kind of a turn of the century, or the kind of the industrial age, I should say, in London. And traversing buildings and stuff is fun. I love the grapple hook. Every game needs a grapple hook. I wish AC Origins had it. It does not. Wait, does Super Mario Odyssey have a grapple hook, Levi?
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
Curses. Anyway, 9 out of 10 can't be perfect. Even Witcher 3 didn't have a grapple, I don't think. Anyway, so Assassin's Creed Origins, I like kind of moving it back to that. I like kind of like saying, hey, there's a camp or a fortress or an outpost, and kind of being able to attack it from multiple different angles. Whereas in Syndicate and those other games that we're kind of getting into more in the modern era, it's always like, well, you kind of attack it from the top of the building and work your way down, or kind of start off up here and then go down here. This game kind of provides you a lot of different options. Like sometimes they'll even have like a basement entrance that you can go and like get into the base, and then you can sneak around that way. You could run in if you feel competent enough with your sword fighting, or your kind of, I should just say, weapon handling, because there's tons of different weapons. There's spears, mauls, like big axes, short swords, stuff like that. Or if you're like me and you've seen the video or just know how I like to play, I'm like a skulk around in the bushes, use my bow and arrow, kind of work my way into the base, taking out the archers and kind of, picking people off one at a time. Because the combat's kind of weird. It wants to be kind of like a Bloodborne or a Dark Souls, where you kind of target one person and dodge around them and attack them. But it doesn't feel super duper great. It feels kind of not. It doesn't feel like it connects very well, or at least on Xbox it doesn't. And it's kind of a detractor, especially for someone like me who doesn't like to engage in the combat up close and personal in this particular game, because it feels weird. It just doesn't make me want to ever fight anybody outright. which thankfully you don't have to do. And it's called Assassin's Creed. It's not like Warrior's Creed. It's not like when you run away from a battle, it's like, oh no, you don't have any honor. It's like, I'm an assassin. Like, I have to kill these people one way or the other, and I don't want to die in the process. But I do kind of miss a little bit like the old, like, stand in the middle and have people come at you, even though that seemed kind of dumb because there's like 10 guys around you and they'd be like, oh, take turns. Like, I'm afraid of an assassin. Me too. But I don't know. There needs to be a happy medium, but I think they're getting there with the combat. This is kind of weird. And Levi, you've seen a little bit of this. Do you like this style of combat, or do you prefer the old school style?
No, I mean, we've been talking a lot about the comparisons between this and Shadow of War, and I like how Shadow of War is a lot like old Assassin's Creed. A lot of people attacking you at one time and you fending off people, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I think I'd say Shadow of War is a lot more like Arkham, like the Arkham games, like the Batman stuff.
Yeah,
that was like the best version. Like Assassin's Creed never got to that level.
No,
really.
Definitely not that aggressive. No.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think that like I enjoyed that in Arkham, even though it's kind of like a lot of it is just like move a joystick and hit like X and then X and then X because he's just like Batman and go flying around like a pinball. But I wonder if Assassin's Creed will kind of change back into that instead. Oh, I feel like I just heard something. You watching a trailer or something?
No, I don't know what just popped up on my screen. I just heard like the PlayStation like junk.
I was like, PlayStation's coming for us. They're like, he said Xbox Assassin's Creed. How dare he?
No, I think it was a Facebook ad.
Oh, gotcha. But I like, I like the Shadow of War combat. I do, or Shadow of Mordor combat, and I would be interested to see if they would maybe try to tackle something more so like that, moving forward, into the next game. I don't know. I don't know. The combat's kind of weird. It's like a lot of like light attack versus your charge attack, and then you get like super abilities, which in theory has worked for many games, but for some odd reason, there's something a little bit off about it. If anybody watches the gameplay or has played it, please let me know what you think, because I want to know if I'm the only one or if people are like, the combat is kind of weird. But I think the stealth is fun. It is kind of weird because it is RPG focused, and by that I mean there's skill trees and people have levels and you have levels and your gear and all that stuff. But if you shoot a guy in the head with a bow and arrow, and it's not a very strong bow and arrow, it doesn't kill him. Like, you can see how much health it takes out, but it doesn't.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, me too. Because like Borderlands,
like a damage counter. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's like I kind of miss being able to just like, if I shot someone, like it would kill them, kind of thing. But I
was watching your review in progress, and I had a question. How do you feel about the outlining? Do you feel like that takes away from the aesthetic of the game? Because it did for me during the review, where they're all white outlined of the characters that you can.
So, okay, that's because I marked them with Senu, so it doesn't always mark everybody unless you go and do that.
Sure, but you'll probably be doing that activity a lot.
Yes, and apparently I found this out recently. If you do all the like the synchronization points, like where you set up on top and like look around, apparently Senu's like his ability to kind of, or her ability to kind of sense people gets better. So hopefully in the future I'll like shoot to Senu for like a second, look around and be like done. But I don't know. I get what you mean. It does kind of ruin it, but it allows me to be a better assassin when I'm sneaking around.
Sure.
Because in this game, if you get spotted, it is not like it is so hard. It's so difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I understand what you're saying. A bit different though than it was in the old Assassin's Creed, where you just like hit a button and you're like, oh, my eagle vision's on, and I can just see everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and there was just something you could toggle in.
Yeah, and I know some games would make everybody like red forever, so just like a red like person walking around or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if I like the white outline, because they outline like everything in white. So it's kind of hard to distinguish sometimes, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. And I'm getting more powerful weapons, so it's like hopefully by the end of the game, I'll be able to usually, with my strongest bow, be able to drop almost anybody in one hit if I shoot him in the face. But yeah, kind of infiltrating places. Like sometimes you'll see me draw a bow and put it on somebody, and it'll go down to like 3/4 of their health is missing, and I'm like, no. But I did pick up a thing. If you get a headshot, I think I can use another one. It's like they give me slow-mo, but I think it's a headshot kill. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's very interesting. They have the whole like Link and Horizon, like you can jump in slow motion, bow shots. So it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. I mentioned this a little bit, but because this franchise has been around for so long, they learned a lot about world building, and especially just like little things that are nice, like fast travel, or just being able to get on a mount and just like hit 2 buttons and then the mount will do everything. It'll just go where you need it to go. You don't have to like sit there and focus and drive it there, which is really nice. I like that a lot. Might be more of a passive way to play, but at the same time, for me, if you're doing this a ton, I don't want to have to just like, I just have to drive. It's just like, nope, just there you go. Follow the trail. to the custom waypoint. I'm like, oh, custom marker, thank you so much. So that's really nice. But I've just been doing side quests right now, just kind of been kind of getting a feel for the world. A lot of it's just like kill a rogue animal or go like, destroy this bandit camp. But I really enjoy it. I love it. The buzz term, like I said before, is like this player agency, like on the review. But kind of being able to choose the way you get to play is really nice, because so many games kind of say like, hey, this is the way you do it. Like Nathan Drake always fights these guys the same way. And obviously that's a very linear example.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's like, Bayek, you do whatever you want to do, man. If you want to run in there with like a high level spear and just try to fight your way through it, go for it. But it's like, if you want to pick them off, you want to do a bit of both, you want to run away, come back, you do whatever you want to do. So I really appreciate that. Trying to get them to fight amongst each other is interesting. So sometimes they'll have like lions in cages, and so like you try to like shoot the cages so the lions will go out and attack them. Some of the AI is kind of weird, so sometimes they don't always fight each other the way you want them to kind of like, thin the herds. But there's a lot of that kind of Ubisoft crafting kind of thing where it's just like, oh, it's like, well, if you want to get like a better quiver, you got to go out and kill like 20 of these things. So there's more of that kind of like hunting gathering thing, which is fine. I don't know. It just feels kind of forced. But yeah, the story, revenge story, nothing super crazy. He does have a wife in this game, which I kind of appreciate, because usually in games like this, it's like my wife and children were murdered or whatever. So it's kind of nice to have him, like the main character, have like a romantic interest that he's very serious about, and she's also very cool and doing her own thing. Like she's off. Bless you. I know it makes me, I'm allergic to that romance myself. But I like her. He himself is fine. He's nothing super great to write home about. He's not as boring as like Connor or Altair, but he's much more. But he's less interesting than Edward, or Ezio. So he kind of falls in the middle, which I was really worried about, because like some of these games, like they go forever, and you just like hate the main character. You're like, oh, Connor's so annoying. Like, please stop. But yeah, I think it's really cool, and you can see the old games still in there. Like when I jump through the trees, I think of like, oh yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 introduced trees, and little things like that. Or they have like little boat segments. They're not obviously the same as like Black Flag. I'm not doing naval combat really, but they do have underwater segments, which are pretty cool. And there's a lot, just like if you go down a hallway, man, like you just like, you never know where this is going to lead. Like these tombs, man, the lighting. I was talking to somebody about this. The lighting in this game with the torches is so good. It feels like I'm playing like an Uncharted or like a Tomb Raider sometimes when I'm walking around. I'm like, oh cool, I like lit the cobwebs on fire. If you get close to, with a torch with your arrow out, you can light your arrow on fire. I don't really know what that does, because I usually just like shoot a guy once and it's not like he starts on fire, but it's very cool. I really enjoy just the aesthetic of Egypt and kind of getting to know a little bit more about it, because it's such a cool place, and it was like one of my top 2 I've always wanted to see in a game like this. So I just really appreciate getting to finally be in this world. I haven't even gotten to the pyramids. I'm getting there, getting close. But yeah, I like it so far. I think it's really good. I think there are some things, like I said, the combat's not super great, and the story's like just fine. But man, there's so much, like you pull back on that map and stuff, and like for me, I'm like, okay, cool, this is just gonna be like a long game. Like there's a lot to do. There's so many side quests, so many things to do, and interesting how the characters interact. It's really cool. Like if you see, like there's this guy who is outside of a bandit cave, and I walked up to him, and instead of going to a cutscene always, he just started talking to me, and like I could kind of talk to him and face him, or I could kind of move around, or I could just kind of keep moving past him as the conversation played out. And it's just a bunch of little touches. I mean, I put a mask on my hero, and his voice is muffled. All these little things that I really appreciate. But yeah, I'm really digging it. I think if you are a big fan of Assassin's Creed, you probably already have it. If you're not a fan and you're kind of on the fence with the old series, this might be a good time to get into the game, or the franchise, because it's like really like a starting off point. Like kind of almost like a reboot, like a soft reboot, as it were. But yeah, I do like it. One thing I don't like, though, they're still doing the freaking the real world, like modern day stuff. You get to play as this. I like the character kind of that you get to play as this young woman, but it's just like she's in an animus by herself in a cave, and like it's like why do you keep doing this? Just Ubisoft, you don't have to.
I hope they don't cut to that a lot, do they?
They've done it a few times, and it's just I hate it every time they do it. In every game they've done this, especially Black Flag, would make me angry, because you're out there doing all this cool stuff, sailing around. It's like, and I'm like, no, put me back in. And they're like, do you want to return to the Animus? I'm like, immediately. Like, why do you do this? I get that you're trying to have this narrative thread, but like, I'm sorry. Look, you see this poster? It's an Assassin's Creed poster. It's in my bedroom. I don't even care. Like, just I don't care. Like, I'm a fan, and I'm just like, please stop. I'm looking at you, Assassin's Creed movie. Goodness gracious, stop doing the modern day stuff, please. Unless you're gonna make one that's only in the modern day, just like, please stop, please. But yeah, besides that, it's really solid, and I really enjoy it. There are a few janky things, but I'd recommend it. Levi, are you interested in getting this game anytime soon?
Yeah, I think I'll pick it up in a month when it goes gold. So.
Okay, so what do you mean? Okay, what do you mean by goes gold?
I mean, it's so bad. They're just gonna put it up for free on Xbox Live Gold. Oh, did you not get that?
Well, usually when they say it goes gold, that means that like they're actually shipping the game out.
That's no. I mean, like they were like, "This is a failure. We're just gonna put it up for free."
Games for you gotta say games for gold. Right?
Games for gold. It looks promising. I'm not gonna pick it up right now. I've got too much else going on. But
yeah. Well, you also have Shadow of War that you've been playing.
I do, yeah. And Shadow's got my attention right now with Mario. So.
Yeah. Well, those are two big games, man, and that kind of scratches that same itch. And I remember I was gonna pick up Shadow of War like a few days before Assassin's Creed, and I was like, and you're like, don't, just wait, just get to Assassin's Creed. I'm like, all right.
See, and then after watching Leo play it the other night, I got back into it again. It's just funny
that game. It looks so complex. Like even as someone who's played the other one, I'm like,
it really isn't. I mean, you get used to the controls on you.
Oh no, I meant like when you look at like all the systems and stuff as far as like changing out your abilities. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, but you get used to it as you level up.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
it can feel. It does it gradually, so you don't feel overwhelmed.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, well, and I'm interested in that game, but for me, because I already played the first one, there's nothing too new for me that I've seen that I was like, I gotta play this next one right away. I'm like, it'll be there, and I'll get to it eventually.
That's why I said just hold off on a little bit. I mean, it's not a crazy departure.
No. Yeah, sure. Well, and I obviously would love to have reviewed it for the channel, but it was just like, man, that game's so long, and I was dealing with Destiny 2 and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, just like, it's all right. We'll get to it another day. It's fine. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins. Any closing questions you have, Levi, about the games, or anything else you want to know?
No.
You don't want to know if there's a multiplayer or anything co-op? I don't think there's either of those things.
Did it ever go over well to begin with? I mean, I hope they didn't do a multiplayer, did they?
They did do a multiplayer. It's kind of interesting because like you had to there were like certain modes and stuff where you had to pretend to be like an NPC and you tried to.
Was this on Unity? Or was there was a standalone Assassin's Creed multiplayer, wasn't there?
No, they did have standalone ones back in like AC Black Flag or 3 or something like that. Or I think there was actually maybe in Revelations or something. But they did have co-op in AC Unity, which I thought was really cool. You couldn't play the campaigns together, but you could do side missions together. So like you'd be running around the world with like 2 or 3 of your buddies, and that was really cool. You like see all these assassins. You're like, all right, you're gonna be kind of the warrior assassin. I'm gonna spec more into the stealth stuff. I'll lockpick and things. It was like really cool. I like that. But that game was kind of weird. Also, the climb down ability, not as pronounced as it was in AC Unity. One of the cool things they have in that one is they've kind of changed, like the old school style of it was hold right trigger and then hold A to like run up something. And then in AC Unity, it was like hold right trigger and hold B to like go down, parkour down. This game, it doesn't seem to have like the 3 different runnings. It's like you're kind of running as fast as you can, and you can hit like right trigger or A to run a little faster. Whereas like the old games, it was like hold right trigger to kind of like sprint, and then A to like really sprint and climb up things.
Sure. So okay.
I keep going for that, and I'm like, it doesn't really change much. So like, they made it easier, I think, because people were like, I'm holding down all these buttons. Yeah, but I enjoy it. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm waiting to fight. I think there's a giant snake I saw in a trailer, so I have no idea how that's going to go down, but I can't wait. Probably a quick 10 bit. Probably going to be a quick 10 bit. Oh, goodness. Depress me. Well, there you go, guys. Those are the 2 big games we want to talk about this week. I want to know if you guys are playing either of those. You're playing Assassin's Creed Origins, you're playing Super Mario Odyssey. Let me know which ones you're playing, which ones that you prefer, or if you're not playing either of them, which one would you like to see more of? And I've been streaming a little Assassin's Creed here and there when I have the time. But yeah, very cool. Well, Levi, it's that part of the show where I get to salute our commander, Jonathan Larson, our $100 patron over on patreon.com. Thank you so much, Jonathan. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And as Jonathan always likes to say, their fate concerns me. Yours does not. Oh, we love you, Jonathan. Thank you so much. And if you're ever interested in getting your beautiful face on a custom-made avatar, so beautiful, so great by Yorin Evers, and a phrase that you could change every week if you wanted to, I'll say it. I'll say whatever it is. If you're paying me $100 a month, I'm pretty well, maybe not anything, but within reason, obviously. Thank you so much. Now, Levi, now that we've done that part of the show, which is one of my favorite parts, we get to move into a segment that I like to call, that Joe likes to call, that we like to call Time Killers. That's right, it's time for Time Killers. It's the games we've been playing, the movies we've been watching, the TV shows we've been viewing. Levi, what have you been killing time with other than Super Mario Odyssey?
Shadow of War, playing a lot of Stardew Valley. Still one of the best indie games out there.
And how are you playing it?
On the Switch, of course. Best handheld game to do it. Just rewatching some Bleach. I'm almost done with that now. And your favorite Boruto. Just starting that.
Oh, no.
Looking for a few more animes to get into.
Why do you
Sasuke-kun?
No. Oh, why? It's fan fiction. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't want to be bad.
It's not. Yeah, no, it's just it's familiar. That's why. It's nice to see characters as they get older and.
Yeah, I understand that. I just don't. Obviously, I want the emphasis to just be on the older characters. Like, I don't care about the kids. Like, I mean, I love, like, Itachi's not going to be there necessarily, but Sasuke is. And it's like, Sasuke, like, abandoned his daughter. And, like, why did he do that? And it's just like, oh, God. Like, I'm like, I don't. Why? Why is this
Sasuke
a thing?
Kill his whole family again.
They're like, oh, Sasuke, he's kind of, detached and unemotional. I'm like, that's Sasuke. Like,
and I'm about to pick up Stranger Things because people keep talking about it. So.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about it. I finished Stranger Things season 2, and I won't really go into detail because you haven't watched it. I'm sure people are still in the midst of watching. I want to know what everybody thinks about it. I enjoyed it. Maybe not as compelling as the first one to me, but still interesting and cool. And I'm not a kid of the 80s, so the nostalgia doesn't really hit me as hard. It's like, oh, look, there's Ghostbusters and all this old school stuff, and I'm just like, it's fine. But man, the budget, like this, it oozes budget. It's oozing that budget, man. 9 episodes long.
Budget.
The Netflix, but man, they're just burning. They're burning through things. I've heard they're gonna maybe up everything by like $1, and that doesn't seem like a ton, but like for them, it's like every user. If it goes up $1, that's a lot of money. But yeah, hey, that's okay. You know what? This is a good show, and I like it. If you like the first season, if you like 80s, if you like
did the first season come out last year, or has it been 2 years?
Ooh, I think it's been 2 years. I think.
Are we gonna have to wait another 2 years for season 3?
I don't know. I think they're going to go a little bit faster with this one because nobody knew that the first one was going to do so well, both like kind of critically and commercially. So after that one did really well, I think they're like, all right, let's move this one because they need to have these kind of flagship Netflix originals do really well because they make so many of them and so many movies and stuff. And sometimes they don't do so well. Like it used to be like, oh, it's a Netflix original. This is going to be good. But sometimes you watch, it's like, this isn't so good. So yeah. And this is what's going to get people to stay with Netflix is like knowing that these things are going to come up every once in a while. So yeah, but it's good. Check it out. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. I like it. I'd recommend it. Yeah, it's quick. It's only 9 episodes, so you don't have to like really commit way too much time to it. But maybe not as compelling as the first one. I'm not sure. I will say this, though. The guy who plays Jim Hopper, the guy who plays the sheriff, he's going to be Hellboy. And after seeing this season, I was like, he's going to be great. Like, he's going to be such a good Hellboy. I'm like, he's walking around, he's smoking all the time. He's got guns and stuff. I'm like, you're going to be perfect. It's going to be great. I'm excited about the new Hellboy now. I'm like, all right, okay, good deal. I'm excited. All right, Levi, do you like the Hellboy franchise by any chance?
Not at all.
Nope.
Kelsey Grammer. Nope. No, I'm just kidding. The main character reminded me of Kelsey Grammer. I don't know why. No, not at all.
Kelsey Grammer's Hellboy would be so cool. Okay, so what don't you like about it?
I just don't like that universe. I don't like that world. I've tried watching the movies before, and I was bored.
You're bored? Okay.
He's not I didn't like him as a character. No.
Okay, you weren't a huge fan of the Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman. Yeah, okay.
No.
Okay. Interesting. See, I like it. I do, but I understand why maybe you wouldn't.
And then the Golden Army, like I just wasn't sold on it.
Golden Army's cool. Like Prince Nuada, like that guy's cool. He's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I liked it.
That DC budget, though.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You like Boruto, so I mean, how much can we trust you at this point?
Like is a word for Boruto.
Like,
something to watch.
Like I'm not like gonna watch it. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's really funny to me. I think it's hilarious that you don't like those movies. That's okay. That's totally fine. I can see why they're stylistically kind of interesting and weird. So maybe that's another part of it too. It's kind of like a weird, kind of crazy world, and I can see where that wouldn't play. I think this next one they said is going to be much darker though, much grittier. It's going to be R, I think, so it's going to or rated R. So I don't know what they're going to do exactly, but I don't know. Maybe you'd like that one better.
Sure,
maybe
we'll see.
If you watch Stranger Things, I'm interested to think of what you think of the sheriff, and then if you're like, oh, okay, I really like that actor,
after I catch up, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I gotta know these things. I gotta know. Well, cool. All right. Well, there we go. Timekillers. But now, Levi, it's time to move into my absolute favorite segment of the show, community feedback and questions. Now, Levi, I asked our lovely Legionnaires who their favorite DC superhero was because we asked about Marvel the other week. Levi,
Thanks.
who is your favorite DC superhero?
Can we pick nothing? Just kidding. Favorite DC superhero? Come back to me.
What's your gut reaction?
Gut reaction?
And why? I put the and why on there because I hated when teachers did that to me in school, and I'm always like, and why? Because you have to explain it because you could be like, Batman.
God, I hate to say Green Lantern, but I think that Green Lantern's cool. I like what he can do with his ring and stuff and what he can create. But I'm speaking only off of old Justice League cartoon on Cartoon Network. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the main show that they had forever.
Yeah, and then you're picking.
God, I don't know. Don't put me on the spot like this, James.
You gotta put you on the spot. Gotta put you on the spot.
The Joker.
No, I said hero. Gotta be a hero.
He's a hero in his own way. God, I can't. Yeah, Selena Kyle.
No, gut reaction has to. How did you pull Catwoman's name out of just like her?
Oh, you know I'm good at that. Gut reaction is Green Lantern.
Okay, Green Lantern.
It'll change after it'll change.
Well, interestingly enough, Levi, our friend Natalie, Look a Person on Twitter, she says, Green Lantern. I love the idea of creativity.
Yes, exactly.
Creativity as a superpower is almost limitless. It just depends on who's using it. And usually, Hal Jordan usually makes fists or guns with it. So, yeah.
I mean, he had some killer moves in Injustice. You know,
he does. That's true. You're right. He does have some killer moves. Our friend, a guy full of dreams, he says Cyborg because I love the futuristic metally edge along with that physicality that takes me back to the RoboCop times. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Okay. Kind of a nostalgia play. Sure. I get that. Ryan says Batman. Super smart and kicks ass as a human. I have to agree with you. I love Batman.
I'm over Batman.
Nobody cares what you think. I'm over podcast. Yeah, just click. Fragan and Sean says, I think Nightwing, considering how he came to be and how they needed to be separated from Batman. I think Nightwing is interesting because you kind of have such an interesting juxtaposition because he is very similar to Batman, but he also just like did his best to, after learning everything, to like kind of get away from Batman. He's kind of like, I'm doing my own thing, buddy. Like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. So
yeah, Neil Patrick Harris. I mean,
what? Yeah,
Neil Patrick Harris played Nightwing. Mm-hmm.
When?
Batman Under the Red Hood.
Oh, okay. So, okay. I thought you meant like a live.
And Michael Cera played him during the Lego Batman movie.
Well, Michael Cera played just Robin.
Oh, I mean, I think that's what they're categorizing this as. So.
Yeah. Anyway. Nightwing. I guess, like I said, for me, it'd probably be Batman. I think it's just Batman.
Boo.
I know. Well.
Generic and boo. Just kidding.
If I couldn't pick Batman, if you're gonna say I can't pick Batman, which I completely understand. Oh my gosh. Man, I don't know. I'm looking at like the Justice League in my mind. I don't know if I like any of those people way more than Batman.
Does Ben Affleck really do it for you though?
Well, it's not just Ben Affleck. I mean, just Batman in general.
No, but that's just what I'm wondering. Does Ben Affleck do the role justice for you?
I would say he does. You know, I think he was the best part of Batman vs Superman for me. I really enjoyed that performance, and I thought he played kind of more of a really like hurt and gruff Bruce. Like he'd been doing this for a long time, and he was just like all out of just like empathy or pity for anybody. And I get people didn't like that he killed. I understand that, but at the same time, if he'd been doing this job for 20 years. He's probably at this point, like, every time I put criminals behind bars, they always break out, then they kill more people. I should just start killing people. Like, he's just like, I'm just going to start doing it. And he's kind of lost his mind. But Batman, you know what? Just think of that, just the term Batman, kind of already a crazy person. Like a billionaire who dresses up like a bat and goes and punches people at night. It's like,
well, when you put it like that, yeah.
it's like I get Iron Man way more than Batman because Iron Man's just like showing off and like trying to like forget all the weapons in the past by making a new weapon. But Batman, so it's like okay.
Side question: are you watching Gotham?
No, are you?
Yeah, well, no. My cousin is watching Gotham, and she said she just told me you should be the Penguin for Halloween, and I'm like, well, I have to look it up because I don't know what he looks like. So
yeah, he looks like emo.
Huh? Oh, great.
He's got the Peter Parker like Spider-Man 3 hair.
Why are you not watching Gotham?
I just wasn't interested because when they're kind of DC's just all over their place, like I wouldn't watch Shield if it wasn't connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and just them saying like, hey, it's a completely different thing, and it's talking about Batman before Batman and a bunch of all these villains before they were actually the villains. I'm like, like for me, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's why. And I watch all the CW.
Does it have a Smallville vibe going for it or no?
I have no idea. And I wish some of these shows did. I think the closest thing to that might be Supergirl or some of the old, like the first season Supergirl stuff.
Okay.
But it wasn't even connected to any of that, which is kind of dumb, I think, as well. It's like, I think they even name dropped Bruce Wayne recently in Arrow, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But I don't think we're ever going to see Batman on like the TV series, which kind of sucks. It's like, seems weird. But yeah, I'm sure Gotham, I know some people really love Gotham. I think it's some people in the similar camps who love like Shield. Not that they both love both things, but it's kind of like they're really devoted and they want to watch this stuff. It's like, that's okay. Yeah, I'm not watching Gotham, but I'm sure it's fine. All right, time for a question. Levi, Guy Full of Dreams, Night Warrior asks us, how far do you think the evolution of all consoles will get, and is it a good thing to invest in? # critical podcast. That's how you reach us, by the way. How far do you think the evolution of all consoles will get? What do you think, Levi? What's the last generation of consoles going to look like?
There won't be an end. I don't think there will be an end unless they... I mean, there's too much of a competitive market out there. I can see them trying to do like one big system that will do everything for you, and it kills the game. But kills the game. But no, I don't think there's. I think there's still too much money in it. There's still too much of a competitive market to have exclusive titles. I mean, people pick up a PC, Xbox One, or PS4 for a reason. They pick up the Switch for a reason.
Sure.
You're never gonna see Mario on a PlayStation 4,
Sure. Well, I think there's always going to be that competition, but I wonder if we'll ever get to a point where just like consoles will be a little chip that you buy and you just like put in your ear and it's like,
you're talking about like futuristic.
Yeah. Like, how do you think
I mean, who knows what the future holds? I mean,
that's true.
I really hope that they stop with the whole phone game thing is bugging me so much. Like, there's just no good games for the phone. Very, 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 very small amount.
It's just hard to do, and I know they're
trying so hard, and there's everything on it. Like, oh, we've got Fire Emblems now, but it's just this stripped down version of the series, and it's
kind of cash grabby a little.
Yeah.
I'm with you there too. I don't think consoles are going to end. It'll just evolve into a way we don't understand. And it's something good to invest in. Well, I guess it depends. I guess I think there will always be money in gaming, and it's obviously grown and grown and grown. And now it's just like movies now, where it's just like everybody loves movies, everyone loves music, everyone loves games. So I think it's a good thing to invest in, and I think we're just going to keep seeing iterations on it forever. Will we ever get rid of a box console sitting at your home underneath your television? I don't know, unless they start bundling it with like attached to a television, like it's part of the TV. Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't know if that would be something that they would do, but. I don't know. I'm interested to see where it'll go, but I always love having my own box.
I mean, if I could say where I want it to go, I mean, I would like it to go in the Switch route where make everything portable so I can pick it up and go with it if I want to. So I can play Halo, at the office when I should be working, but then I can play Halo at work,
Sure.
I mean, no, it's great. I can play Zelda and I can play Mario at work, or wherever else I'm out. But I would like to see everything go handheld and then be able to come home and dock it, because if in the future, I mean, they're going to have the technology to do that. So,
at the same time, I don't want them to compromise the power and stuff. That's what I like about Xbox and PlayStations being so not focused on mobile. Is like they want to push each console so much, so far, so fast. And I just want to see them get to a point where, when and some games do this already, but some of the cutscenes look so incredible, or some of these CG trailers, which aren't really cutscenes. I want every game to look like a CG trailer. Like I want to get to that point where I'm controlling what's happening. I'm like, this is incredible. Like I'm making a movie right now.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have the technology someday to do that. Still have extreme powerful consoles and can make it different, and who knows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with it too, but good question all the same. We have one more question that comes in from our friend Sean, who says, Echo Critical, It's very easy to get caught up in all the buzz surrounding so many heavy hitter game titles that have been released this year. I'm curious if 2017 has been an impactful of a year that greatly stands out, or if looking back, does it feel just like another year with a few games? Strictly speaking, with the games you yourselves have played. Adapt and overcome, #Critical Podcast. Dang, that's a good question. People are comparing this a lot to 1997, which is another big year for games. I would say that for me personally, from the games I played this year, and strictly speaking to the ones I've played, it is a big year. There's been a lot of things that have come out. I look back at things like, even though it hasn't done super well past or since, but like you look at like For Honor, but then you have like Horizon, you have Persona, you have Destiny 2, you have just
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but I haven't played that one. Yeah. There's that, obviously, Super Mario Odyssey for games I haven't played. I just feel like this year, there's a few games that got knocked into this year and a few games that were like always going to come out this year. And because of that, it has made this year just swell up and be huge and just massive. I mean, you look at the spring and now here in the fall, like Assassin's Creed Origins too. There's so many huge games and they're all pretty dang good. Like that's the thing. Like, we're kind of spoiled for choice. Like there's all these games are super huge and long too. So like,
we've had a drought though. I mean, there's been a last couple of years where it's really only been a couple really great AAA titles like Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm and some actually ones that are very good.
Witcher 3 a few years ago.
Yeah, Witcher 3. I'm talking games that like you actually want to go back and replay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would say this year is very impactful, and I think we probably won't see a year this full again for a while, maybe because
everybody has to load their decks again, and
yeah, exactly. Plus, you see, like you're talking about with Nintendo releasing a new console and then releasing these two massive games, along with these other kind of third-party ones that we're seeing just be big. We're seeing a lot of things come out too, not in the West. Like Dragon Quest 11 that's coming out next year. If that would have come out this year, that would have been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Persona 5 doing well in the West is a big deal. So there's a lot more of this Eastern or these Japanese titles that are starting to just really crush it over here. People are getting more excited about it.
Yeah.
And not to mention that we also had Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Injustice 2. Like we had some other big fighting games come out, some big racing games come out. Like across the board, if you like video games, 2017 year has been a great year for you. So like very good.
We'll see what 2018 holds. I mean, 2018, I don't know if you know this, but it looks like a very JRPG year so far. We've got, Dragon Quest Builders 2. We have Ni no Kuni coming out next year.
Is Monster Hunter coming out next year?
Monster Hunter's coming out at the end of this year. Worlds, and then
it's January. I think it's January.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, 2018 is looking like a very JRPG kind of year.
Yeah, and
we've got Kingdom Hearts 3. We've got
oh god, and then Spider-Man, God of War.
Yep. Possibly Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah, it's true. I forgot we didn't mention this. Favorite trailer from Paris Games Week, Levi. Go, quick, Sony. Which one was your favorite?
Oh, give me some lists. I don't remember.
Remember we said like God of War, Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man, some other things.
Just the new game for Xbox. That's the only one I'm really interested in. What's that? God, what is it called now? Can't think of it. You're in a big suit. The huge game coming out for Xbox next year.
Titanfall 3.
No. Maybe you're not a big suit, but you're in a suit. Anthem. There we go. Anthem.
I think it's coming. Is that exclusive? I don't think it's exclusive.
Thought it was. Maybe it's not.
Did they show a trailer for that? Did I miss that trailer?
Maybe I'm just thinking from E3. I don't think I saw any trailers from Paris. So.
No, you saw like Last of Us and stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, because of Sony stuff. Sony things.
Last of Us. Yeah, it looks really great.
Yeah, I don't know. Last of Us is fine. I like the first game. We talked about this before, because I used to play it I played it at Levis. But there's just kind of like vague story stuff. I'm excited about Spider-Man. I'm not a huge fan of Mr. Negative as a villain, but I hope Green Goblin's in there. Please have Green Goblin or Venom or something.
Right.
That'd be great. But 2017, in short, huge year. Are we going to see a year like this for a while? Probably not. It's impactful, and I think there's a ton of, not to mention like even Neo and stuff like that. There are some other kind of more niche things that came out to placate the Souls fans. So yeah, I'm like looking around at my games like to see like what games I didn't even mention here, but yeah, and also this year Destiny 2 and Assassin's Creed Origins I bought digitally. I usually don't buy games that big digitally, but I just felt So I'm like, hey, why not?
I got Destiny 2 Digital and Shadow War. Yep.
Yeah. But I want to know, Legionnaires, if you think 2017 is an impactful year. Let me know what games you were the most excited about, the games you love, the games you missed, the games you wanted to play but just haven't gotten around to. Your backlog's stacking up. But as always, just seriously, and this is a mantra that I picked up from like the Easy Allies, just play what you want to play. Seriously, like if you have a game that just speaks to you one night, don't feel like you have to beat something. That game is there for your enjoyment, your entertainment. You owe nothing to that game. You don't owe it a thing. So just go enjoy it. If you just want to play Super Mario for like 200 hours, go for it. Like who cares? Enjoy it. That's the point of all this entertainment. So that's why I'm playing games. That's why you should be playing games too. Well, believe it or not, that's gonna. I almost called you Joe there for a second, Levi. It's so weird not having him on the show. He just but it's okay. You haven't cut me off as many times as Joe has, and you haven't talked about Canada Dry at all, our sponsor for this week. But if you have a question for us, either of us, you can tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast. I am at Go Critical over on Twitter. That's with a capital G and a capital C. Or you can find me at my personal account, which is at JimmyGood013. If you want to tweet at Joe, he is at Lever_627. Lever, just like Beaver, only with an L. He's not here this week. But if you want to tweet at Levi, you're at Levi Fletcher, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yes, on Twitter. Please send us questions anytime you have them, or topics or ideas for the show that you want to see. If you want to see a switch in the format, or if you want to see something completely different, or whatever else, please let us know. If you want to see us, or me streaming over on Twitch, you can check us out on twitch.tv/critical reviews. I'm on there Mondays and Thursday afternoons. But I will stream sometimes just randomly, like just kind of throughout the week when I can, which is a lot of fun. We've been playing through Resident Evil 4 right now. Legend of Zelda still Ocarina of Time. We just beat the Shadow Temple, thank goodness. And yeah, I don't know what games we're going to play next. There's a lot of games, so many games. Probably Assassin's Creed Origins coming up here. So I have to thank a few people before I get into the ifs. But thank you to Joran Evers and to This is Dayleb. This is Dayleb, I should say, does our music for the show here, which is really great. But Joran Evers is our artist. He's the resident artist here. If you see any artwork, mostly like 99% of the artwork you see on this channel is from Joran. If you ever want a commission done by him, all you have to do is check him out over on Niraj28 over on Twitter, or at Jade Circle Art. He does pretty much anything, and he's very, very reasonably priced, and he's efficient, and he'll be with you the entire process. Like he'll draw sketches, something, be like, hey, do you like this? You're like, yeah. And then he'll do a little bit more, like, hey, do you like this? You're like, yeah. So he never wants to give you something that you don't want, which is really cool. But if you want to check out some of his work, buy some of it, and support us at the same time, you can check out patreon.com/critical reviews, where you can get your beautiful face on an avatar at various levels. You can get different armor and gear and stuff like that, and other rewards as well, all drawn out by the one and only Joran Evers. And like I said before, if you want to pledge $100 like Jonathan does, you get a fully customizable avatar. That means you get to just pick everything, every weapon, every piece of armor and detail, all that stuff, and I'll even salute you every show with a little catchphrase that you come up with. So yeah, I think that about does it. If you aren't supporting us on Patreon, I would just encourage you, please, just to share this with a friend. Share them like a review or something, or just tell them to check out a stream or something sometime. It really helps. And for everybody who's been liking and retweeting and sharing our stuff, we really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But Levi, thank you for being on the show, man. I appreciate you having you here. Thank you. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. This has been fun.
We're going to get you a camera and a new mic and all this stuff eventually.
Yes.
Thanks for patrons. It'll all happen. Don't worry. Levi's just going to have him on the show all the time now. Not that we're replacing Joe, but sometimes Joe's got other things to do. But tomorrow we're going to go see Thor Ragnarok, and we're going to report back on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yep. I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be so good. Oh, it's going to be hard to sleep tonight. I'm going to be like, I've been trying to get the trailers ready, and I've been seeing like little things I haven't seen before. I'm like, no, Jimmy, don't look. It's so hard. It's so difficult. It's not full media blackout, but it's the next best thing. But anyway, thank you to all of our Legionnaires. Thank you for people who showed up the very first time. And just remember to adapt and overcome. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.